Stop whatever you are doing and listen to me now. This is your moment. This is not an accident. This is not coincidence. This is your sign from the infinite that you are not alone, that your struggle is not wasted, and that your destiny is not over. When this speech is finished, you will have full faith in yourself and full faith in the God who never left you. But you must not drift. You must not waver. Listen with intention. Listen with decision, because the man who hears these words and obeys them will not be the same. If you are walking through darkness, if you have no applause, no help, no encouragement, this is not your ending. It is your training ground, and it is holy. You may feel alone, but you are not forsaken. You may feel forgotten, but you are being refined. For no man was ever born into greatness without first being cast into fire. The struggle is not here to break you. It is here to build you, to burn away the unnecessary, to expose the eternal, and to train the spirit of the man you were destined to become. The world will not tell you this. The world will mock your pain, overlook your discipline, and confuse your silence with defeat. But the law of life does not reward noise. It rewards obedience. And the first law of power is this: struggle is not punishment. Struggle is preparation. It is the furnace where your identity is forged. You do not become great in times of ease. You are made in the hidden seasons, when no one sees, when no one claps, when no one believes. That is where strength is built. That is where your voice begins to rise. That is where your purpose comes alive. I have studied the lives of men who rose from dust to dominance, and I tell you plainly, every man who ever achieved greatness was first broken down in solitude. The applause came later. The victory came later. But the shaping of the soul, the hardening of will, the formation of discipline, the communion with God, that happened in the dark. You must stop viewing the struggle as a curse. It is your calling. It is not a detour. It is the direct path to the man you are meant to become. A man is never closer to God than when he is stripped of every false support. That is not poetry. That is principle. When every crutch is removed, you learn to stand on the only foundation that cannot be taken from you: purpose. When you have nothing left but breath, you begin to speak truth. When the world falls silent, you finally hear the voice of your Creator. That voice does not flatter. It commands. It says, "Rise." And the man who listens becomes unbreakable. Look at Abraham Lincoln, mocked, defeated in election after election, betrayed, isolated, lost a child, mocked again. Yet he walked forward, alone, with purpose, with conviction. And from that furnace of personal hardship, he rose, not merely to power, but to greatness. He was not made in the White House. He was made in loss, in rejection, in long, bitter silence. He trusted something greater than man, and that trust became history. You must now make a choice. Will you interpret your struggle as rejection or refinement? Will you complain or rise? Will you collapse or continue? The man who stands alone but does not bow, he is more powerful than an army, for he has found his anchor in the invisible. He has found strength in stillness. He has found that even when man offers nothing, God remains, purpose remains, discipline remains, and that is more than enough. When a man has no one, but still moves forward, he walks with the invisible power that created this universe. That is not mere inspiration. That is the truth of every man who has changed this world. He acted before approval. He moved before certainty. He persisted before recognition. He did not complain about the lack of help. He became his own help. He did not wait to be seen. He became visible through persistence. You must do the same. You are not broken. You are being built. Say that aloud. Feel the weight of it. You have not been cursed. You have been called. You are not being destroyed. You are being defined. The pain you feel is not the end. It is the start. It is the awakening. It is the alarm clock of destiny ringing in the ear of a man who has slept too long beneath his potential. You are now awake. Do not go back to bed. This is your instruction. Speak power even when you feel none. This is faith. Speak of where you are going, not where you've been. Speak of who you are becoming, not what you have lost. Faith is not a feeling. Faith is a command. Faith is action without applause. Faith is declaring your chief aim with trembling hands and tired bones, knowing that your word holds more power than your circumstances. You will be tempted to speak weakness. You will be tempted to confess how hard it is. You will be tempted to rehearse your story of suffering. Do not. Your words are not decoration. They are direction. What you say is what you sow. If you speak defeat, you plant it. If you speak delay, you become it. But if you speak purpose, you grow stronger. If you speak vision, you walk in light. And if you speak faith, you rise, regardless of who is watching. Say this now. I am not abandoned. I am being trained. I am guided by purpose. I trust the struggle. Say it again. Let it enter your subconscious. Let it become your armor. Let it drown out the whispers of doubt and discouragement. For there is a truth more powerful than fear, more eternal than struggle, more solid than failure, and it is this. The man who trusts the struggle becomes the man God intended. You may feel tired, but keep moving. You may feel misunderstood, but keep building. You may feel small, but speak as though you were already great. That is not arrogance. That is obedience. That is alignment with the spiritual law that governs this universe. What you believe, repeated with faith and acted upon with persistence, will become real. You are not merely surviving this season. You are being forged by it. Every man prays for strength, but few accept the process by which strength is made. That process is struggle. That process is hardship. That process is what you are in right now. Trust it, obey it, and do not curse it. It is the fire, and you are the gold. In the days to come, you will want to quit. You will want to explain your hardship. You will want to plead for sympathy, but that is not your path. Your path is silence, vision, repetition, action. Your path is rising in the dark, speaking in faith, and walking with purpose when no man claps. And if you walk this path, if you obey this discipline, you will not be the same man 30 days from now. You will be sharper, stronger, clearer, closer to your calling, not because your life changed, but because you did. So I say it again. Let it ring within your soul. I am not abandoned. I am being trained. I am guided by purpose. I trust the struggle. Say it every morning. Say it until your subconscious accepts it. Say it until the old man within you dies. Say it until the world adjusts to the new you. The man who walks with God, with purpose, and with unshakable vision, he does not need applause. He does not fear the fire. He does not wait for approval. He trusts the struggle, and he becomes unstoppable. There is a sacred moment in every man's life, a silent hour, when no one claps, no one calls, no one sees. It is in that hour that a man is measured, not in the eyes of the world, but in the unseen courtroom of character. That is the moment where faith is either built or broken. When all external voices have gone quiet and you are left with only your own, what you say to yourself then determines the man you will become. Most men cannot stand this silence. They fill it with noise, with distraction, with the opinions of others. They are terrified of being alone with themselves because they have never cultivated an inner voice that speaks with power. But I tell you this, the man who masters the silent hour, who learns to walk alone without shrinking, without begging, without quitting, that man is unstoppable. What you do when no one sees determines what you will have when all eyes are upon you. The world rewards the visible, but it remembers only those who built themselves in the invisible. Men chase applause, but God watches in silence, and it is in that silence that your soul is strengthened. It is in that unseen hour that your integrity is either developed or dissolved. Integrity is not forged in public. It is tested in private. It is easy to speak power when others are watching. It is easy to act confident when surrounded by agreement. But when you are alone, misunderstood, and unsure, what then? Do you still persist? Do you still believe? Do you still act with discipline when no man is looking? That is where greatness begins. That is the place of proving. You must come to see the invisible trial as the gateway to real power. It is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to ask the question, can you be trusted with more? Can you lead when no one follows? Can you obey your vision when it produces no immediate reward? Can you keep going when it seems like no one notices or cares? If the answer is yes, then you are ready for the next level of responsibility. But if you collapse in the silence, you were never truly committed to the vision to begin with. Look to Thomas Edison, a man of imagination, a man of persistence. He was laughed at, ignored, dismissed by experts, and misunderstood by those closest to him. He failed not once, not twice, but thousands of times in pursuit of a single invention. And most of those failures happened in isolation. There were no cheers, no cameras, no one to say, keep going. But he did. Why? Because he had something greater than applause. He had inner belief. That is the power I want you to build. Not a belief that wavers with praise, not a confidence that dies when the room goes silent, but a foundation so deep, so steady, that you no longer require the world to approve you. You approve yourself. You become your own leader, your own ally, your own prophet. This is the mark of a man, one who does not need to be told who he is, but one who decides it and then walks it out daily, regardless of who claps. The man who waits for support before acting is still a child, and the world does not reward children. It rewards men who lead, men who build when no one helps, men who move forward in the absence of encouragement. That is when your soul matures. That is when your mind sharpens. That is when your discipline becomes unshakable. There is danger in needing validation. It makes your strength conditional. It ties your identity to the approval of others. And if that approval is removed, so is your progress. You cannot build anything eternal on the shifting winds of applause. You must plant your roots deeper. You must establish your power within. Only then will you rise like the oak, steady and unmoved by passing storms. So I give you this instruction. Each morning you will practice silence. Not weakness, not wandering, but directed stillness. You will not reach for voices outside of you. You will not begin your day with complaint or fear. You will speak only of vision. You will declare your aim. You will command your own mind before the world attempts to command it for you. Refuse to speak lack. Refuse to rehearse pain. Speak vision. Declare your aim. This is not wishful thinking. This is spiritual law. You must train yourself to act as though you were already the man you are becoming. You must speak as a man who knows his value, walk as a man who fears no isolation, and think as one who is being prepared for a responsibility greater than himself. Say this aloud. I do not need applause. I need purpose. I do not need company. I need vision. Let those words become your creed. Let them anchor you when doubt creeps in. Let them remind you that you are not building a life for validation. You are building it for victory. And victory is earned in silence, in darkness, in solitude. The next time you feel alone, the next time no one returns your call, the next time the path feels empty, do not retreat. Smile, because that is the moment your strength is being tested. And the man who passes the silent test is the one who will soon command the crowd. But you must earn that. And you earn it by rising when no one watches, by building when no one believes, by walking when no one walks with you. That is the law. That is the way. And that is what you must now obey. Say it again, stronger this time. I do not need applause. I need purpose. I do not need company. I need vision. You are becoming dangerous, not to others, but to doubt, to delay, to fear. Because the man who no longer needs to be seen is the man who soon will be. Faith is the mightiest power known to man. It is unseen by the eyes, yet it shapes all that is visible. It is intangible, yet it moves mountains. Faith is not superstition. It is not idle hope. It is the invisible substance that translates desire into reality. It is the medium through which your dreams are given form, through which your plans are given breath, and through which your spirit is strengthened in the midst of trial. Without faith, your desire is only a whisper, but with faith, it becomes a command. You must understand that no man has ever achieved greatness who did not first walk in faith, alone, before there was any proof. Every inventor, every statesman, every builder, every leader was first called a fool, a dreamer, a madman. The masses mocked what they could not see, but the man of faith saw clearly what others could not, and he acted on it. That is faith, not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward in spite of it. Let me speak to you now of Henry Ford, a man of vision, a man of persistence, a man of indestructible belief. When he declared that he would build a car the common man could afford, the experts laughed. They told him it was impossible. They told him to stay in his lane. They told him to obey the known rules. But Ford had faith, not in circumstance, not in permission, but in purpose. He saw it, believed it, and acted upon it. He did not have the approval of the world, but he had the inner substance of faith, and it was enough. What separated Ford from the dreamers was not talent, it was not luck, it was not education. It was his ability to hold to a vision when there was no evidence it would come to pass. That is what you must do now. If you are to rise, if you are to become the man God intended, you must walk by vision, not by sight. You must speak power, not merely observe your surroundings. Faith is not passive. It is not silent. It is a decision you make daily. And so I will give you the true formula for building faith: desire plus repetition plus emotion plus action. This is how faith is constructed. First comes desire, a burning want, a clearly defined goal. Without this, you are drifting. But desire alone is not enough. It must be repeated. You must speak your aim aloud until your subconscious accepts it. And you must speak it with emotion, not dead words, but words that carry conviction. Finally, you must act. Faith without action is fantasy. But when desire is spoken daily with emotion and followed by action, that is the furnace where belief is born. Faith can be installed. You do not need to wait for it. You do not need to feel it first. You can speak it until you believe it. What you speak with emotion, your subconscious accepts. This is law, and your subconscious is always listening. Every morning, every night, every time you speak your definite chief aim aloud with conviction, you are carving a new belief system into your very being. Now I command you, repeat your definite chief aim aloud every morning with feeling, even if your voice trembles. Do not wait for confidence. Speak until confidence is formed. You are not deceiving yourself. You are instructing your inner world. You are aligning yourself with the law of cause and effect. What you affirm with feeling and act upon with persistence must eventually take form. When you wake and your doubts begin to whisper, answer with truth. When fear knocks, open the door with action. When the voices say you can't, reply, I already am. This is how faith speaks, not in arrogance, but in certainty, not in volume, but in repetition, not in perfect circumstances, but in deliberate decision. Say this now: I believe, though I do not see, though I feel doubt, I speak power. I believe. Say it again, not softly, command it. You must become the loudest voice in your life. And if no one encourages you, encourage yourself. Speak life to your soul. Speak strength into your bones. Speak success over your day. Every word you speak is a seed, and what you speak consistently, you will eventually harvest. When all else fails, when the way grows dark, when your own strength feels gone, remember this truth: God has not abandoned you. You are being tested, not rejected. He is watching, not for weakness, but for obedience. He is listening, not for perfection, but for persistence. You are not being punished. You are being promoted. But faith is the key to unlocking that promotion, not faith in man, not faith in circumstances, but faith in divine law, in purpose, and in your God-given ability to become what you believe. Do not wait for the world to catch up. Do not ask for signs before you move. Begin now. Declare now. Act now. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too far gone. But you must speak with fire. You must act with boldness.